Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Friday, one day away from Arsenal returning to action in the Premier League, looking to get back to winning ways after those disappointing defeats against Manchester United and Everton. Southampton at the Emirates tomorrow, followed by West Ham on Wednesday night, again at the Emirates. Two really big games for Arsenal. It's a big week as we head towards the festive period. I'm recording this Friday morning. Mikel Arteta will be holding his press conference later this afternoon. I think it's about 1:30 that gets underway. So I'm sure we'll find out maybe some of the latest when it comes to team news, injuries, that sort of thing from him during that press conference. So keep an eye out for that one. But I wanted to do this video sort of looking ahead to the Southampton game, really focusing on some of the big sort of team selection decisions, who should start, who shouldn't start, ending with my usual predicted 11 as well. So we'll start with that Saints game and looking at who starts in that one. I think, you know, the team pretty much picks itself. Certainly, probably you'd say 9 of the 11 at the moment picking themselves, and there's a couple of options there in terms of what else Mikel can do. Now, first of all, Smith Rowe hopefully should be back available. As far as I'm aware, he has been training this week, so that is a boost. And like I said, we'll find out a little bit more from Mikel Arteta later on in the press conference when it comes to Smith Rowe's fitness. He missed the game against Everton and was a big miss, no doubt about that. Arsenal desperately needing that sort of player who can get on the ball and run with it like Smith Rowe does. But as far as I'm aware, he has been training this week, so all signs are fairly positive that he might well be involved. If he is fit, then I fully expect him to start. So that will be one big change from the team that played against Everton. And then you look at Aubameyang, you look at the midfield, and those are the two real areas. Now, who plays as a central striker? Lacazette started against Everton. Aubameyang was on the bench. Does Aubameyang come back in? And then you look at that central midfield, which I'll talk about a little bit more in this video as we go on in terms of who starts in those central midfield positions. Now, Granit Xhaka is back fit again, and Thomas Partey is very much struggling for form. So I think they're the areas you're looking at, aren't they, when it comes to the team selection? And please do let me know who you think should start on Saturday for Arsenal. Would you go with Aubameyang up front? Would you go with Lacazette? Would you go with Nketiah? Would you play Martinelli through the middle? So who should start as a central striker for Arsenal, and who should play in midfield? Do you stick with the out-of-form Thomas Partey? Do you bring Sambi back in, who very unfortunate to have not played in the last couple of games, considering he was the best player on the pitch against Newcastle, and then has kind of been bombed out since then by Arteta. And do you bring Sambi back in? Personally, I think Sambi should definitely be starting this one for me. And I'd probably the striker one's really difficult in terms of who plays as a central striker. You know, what do you do with that one? Lacazette certainly didn't cover himself in any glory when he came in against Everton last weekend. I mean, he didn't get much service, granted, but he was just dropping so deep. There was no presence in and around the penalty area for Arsenal with Lacazette on that pitch. He just didn't take his opportunity when it came, even with the lack of service. So what do you do? Do you give Auba another go, or do you start with Eddie Nketiah for all of what we've been talking about in terms of his contract and the fact he's going to be leaving? You have to admit, when he did come on against Everton, he did actually look the most lively of all the forwards that Arsenal had on the pitch. Yes, he missed that sitter, which he should have scored, but at least he actually was in the right place to get that chance. Lacazette would have been out on the edge of the penalty area, or certainly not in the area, in the 6-yard box where Eddie was when he peeled off to the back post. And Eddie also created a couple of chances for his teammates as well. So do you give him a go? Do you play Martinelli as a central striker? You know, what would you do? I've got a feeling that we're going to see Aubameyang play up front tomorrow. That's just a hunch. I just wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in. Southampton have got some injury issues going into this one. Actually, I'll just tell you what they are now. I was looking at them a minute ago. What are they saying now? I've closed the page down now, so keep your attention up. But they are missing quite a few players, and Arsenal, you'd hope, would look to take advantage of that. I know Oriol Romeo is suspended in the middle for him. I think Che Adams is a doubt, and he's their top scorer this season. Here we go. Who else? Willie Caballero looks like he's going to be in goal. So without their first choice, two choice goalkeepers, in terms of Alex McCarthy and Fraser Forster, they're both injured. So Caballero, who's just come in, 40 years old, he's been training with AFC Wimbledon since leaving Chelsea in the summer. He looks like he's going to be in goal for them. Mohamed Salisu, the centre-back, he's missing through suspension. Bednarek's a doubt with a calf injury. Romeo suspended. Che Adams a doubt. So, Southampton got some serious injury issues going into this one. You would hope Arsenal can take advantage of that. Well, they need to take advantage of that because this is a massive game now after those 2 defeats. They've got to get back to winning ways against the Saints, and they've got to sort of take a winning mentality into that West Ham game, which is going to be so important on Wednesday night. So some big decisions for Mikel Arteta to make. Please do let me know who you should start. Let me know your starting 11s. Put them in those comments below and I'll go through them a bit later on. Always intrigued to see your thoughts ahead of such a big game. The midfield, as I talked about, that's going to be a really important one for Arsenal. Who plays in central midfield? Thomas Partey is struggling. I've wrote a piece today that's got out on Goal. I've posted it on my social media, so go and have a look at it if you haven't seen it already. It's sort of exploring Thomas Partey's struggles this season. And you have to say he is certainly struggling. I mean, the stats back it up. Thomas is really far from his best of form so far this season. And you've got to look at who can play in central midfield for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka's back. I think Xhaka starts, just plain and simple. Under Arteta, Xhaka's going to start. Whatever your thought on it, it's just, he came straight back in on Monday night, having not even played a warm-up game or anything like that, and he played the full 90 minutes. That's what Arteta thinks of him. So he's going to start. So who plays alongside him? Will it be Thomas Partey again, or do you make a bit of a change and take Thomas Partey out the firing line a little bit, given he's out of form? And you'd have to say, most managers, you would drop Thomas Partey. I mean, you look at his form this season, and this is all in the piece that I wrote. He's made 11 appearances in the Premier League this season. Thomas Partey's been dribbled past 17 times in those 11 games. Sambi Lokonga has played 12 Premier League games and he's been dribbled past just once. Sambi's also made more tackles, more interceptions. He's got a better dual success rate. All the numbers there, suggest that Sambi Lokonga should be starting. He's against Newcastle in his last game, he was by far the best player on the pitch, not just sort of defensively and breaking up play, but going forward as well. He made more key passes, I think, than anyone else, and he played very, very well. And if Thomas was playing at his best, then you would certainly think, Thomas starts. That's why you spent 45 million on him, but he's not playing like a 45 million pound midfielder at the moment. He's really struggling for confidence. You can see that his belief is very low. He's looking panicky when he's on the ball, looking panicky when he's about to receive the ball. He's making mistakes. His passes are poor. Everything signals that he should be dropped and given a bit of a rest, but Arteta at the moment is continuing to play him, and I think it's incredibly harsh on Sambi that he's not played in the last couple of games. And for me personally, I'd be bringing Sambi in for this one. I'd be going Sambi and Granit Xhaka in midfield. Give Thomas a little bit of break. I think he needs it. He just looks like a player who needs it. Mentally, he doesn't seem all bang on it at the moment. Obviously, the injury has played a big part, and the muscle injury suffered before the Watford game, wasn't it? Before the international break that saw him miss Ghana. Apparently, that has been a troublesome one. He is back now, but there are still concerns about that muscle. He's been working very hard in the training ground, I understand, sort of in the gym, working on strengthening his muscles up. But sort of mentally, when that's in the back of your mind, that you're always fearful that you're going to have a little bit of a setback, then that can certainly have a big impact on your mental state, I think, when you're in a game, because you just don't really go 100%. You're always worrying about what might happen. And Thomas, at the moment, looking at him, gives the air of a player who is worrying about things, and he's not playing freely. His mind's sort of clogged up with a lot of things, and when you see the ball coming his way, it just all looks very panicky. It's not calm, and it just feels like he's a player who needs to be taken out at the firing line a little bit and given a bit of a break. And when you got Sambi playing as well as he has been, then I think that's fair enough, especially at home against Southampton. You give Sambi a go for me. So I'd be pairing Sambi in midfield with Thomas Partey. I mean, you look at some of the other stats for Partey. His passing accuracy is less than Sambi. It's less than Mohamed El-Neni, well less than Mohamed El-Neni. In fact, I mean, a lot of that is because at least Thomas plays a lot more difficult passes. He'll take passes on and try and split the lines. Mohamed El-Neni doesn't do that, does he? He plays it pretty safe, but even so, he's got a worse, out of all of Arsenal's midfielder, including Ainsley Maitland-Niles, with Granit and El-Neni and Sambi, he's got the worst dual success rate, has Thomas Partey. Made one error leading to goal, lost possession 107 times. That's more than any of the other midfielders. It's just the numbers don't make great reading when it comes to Thomas Partey, and we don't even need to see the numbers. You can just see what you're looking at on the pitch at the moment, can't you? And he's just not on it, Thomas. And Arsenal need him on it because he's one of Arsenal's best players. But at the moment, he's just far, far from his best of form. And you just feel like at that point, you can't continue to play him. So give him a little bit of a break and bring Sambi Lokonga in. So that's what I would do when it comes to central midfield. But again, let me know if you agree or disagree with me on that one. So in terms of Smith Rowe, like I said earlier, that is a boost. It looks like he should be hopefully available. He has been training this week, so unless he's suffered another setback that I don't know about, which might have happened, I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, he has been involved in training this week, and so you would expect he would be available. And then it just leaves the striker situation. What do you do with that? Do you play Lacazette again, or do you play Aubameyang? Like I said, I got a feeling we might see Auba come back in for this one and have Smith Rowe, Saka and Odegaard behind them. Lacazette dropping back down to the bench, but he could easily stick with Lacazette, give him another go, continue with Odegaard behind him, and have Saka and Smith Rowe either side. I know, Politno, if you want to see Nicolas Pepe get more of a chance, it would be a surprise given how out of the cold he seems to be at the moment for Arteta to suddenly bring him straight back into the starting 11. But you kind of never know with Arteta. He does make some decisions that leave you scratching your head from, well, I was going to say from time to time, but quite a lot of times it has to be said. So please do let me know, as I said, who should start, who shouldn't start, who should be dropped, who should play. Let me know in the comments below. Right, before I go, let's talk predicted 11 at times, shall we? Now, remember, this isn't what I want to see. It isn't what I've heard will happen. This is just me trying to get inside Mikel Arteta's head and predicting what he is going to do. Now, defensively, I think it all picks itself. We're going to have Aaron Ramsdale be in goal, another player in a month for Aaron Ramsdale, which was announced earlier this week. He'll be in goal. It'll be Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel and Kieran Tierney as the back four. And then it comes down to the midfield. I think Partey will probably play again. I think it'll be Granit Xhaka and Thomas Partey in midfield. And then I think I'm going to say it's going to be Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe and Aubameyang as the attack. So Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tierney, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang. That is the predicted 11 that I think Mikel Arteta is going to go for. Remember, that's not what I would go for myself or anything like that. I'm trying to predict Arteta. Personally, my 11, the one that I would want to see for this game, I would say probably, obviously, the back five. So Tomiyasu, Gabriel, White, Tierney. Then I'd go for Sambi and Granit, I think. In this one, just because I think you still need, if you're not playing Thomas Partey, you still need someone who can really sort of get on the ball a little bit and try and play those balls through to the forward line. I think Granit will give you that. So I'd probably go Sambi and Granit, and then I'd go Saka. I'd go Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and I think I'd play Aubameyang. I think I'd bring him in for this one, given Southampton have some issues and they're at home. Arsenal are at home. I just feel like maybe Aubameyang will give you more a little bit in and around the penalty area. I mean, he's getting the chances. Lacazette didn't even get the chance at Everton. At least Auba is getting himself in a position to have the odd good chance. He's just not taking them at the moment. But you do back Auba that eventually he will take some of those chances. He just has to. So personally, I think I'd probably go with Aubameyang up front as well. So there was my Arteta predicted 11 and my own preferred 11. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Like I said, Mikel Arteta will be speaking today. By the time you're watching this, he might well have spoken already. I think it's 1:30. He's speaking today to the press in a press conference. I'm not on the panel or anything, so I'm not asking questions today. I'm not one of the journalists who will be, but I will be watching and seeing what he has to say. So I'll be putting out the updates on social media. So if you miss it, have a look over at my Twitter or Facebook and you'll see what Mikel Arteta has had to say. All right, everyone, have a good day. Enjoy yourself. Sun is shining. And get out, enjoy yourself. And I'll be back at the Emirates to see you tomorrow. I will be trying to do my usual stuff at the game, live broadcast before the match, the warm-ups, talking about the team news, and then player ratings after, hopefully, an Arsenal victory. Have a good day, everyone. I'll speak to you soon.